Hello, Steve89. Well, the reviews are in for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and to me they seem very mixed. Now, for the most part, everyone's saying it's great because everyone who's seen the film got some sort of early access and has to say it's great. But they're not doing spoilers or anything because they can't, so they're being a bit vague. But then, right after saying it's great, they go into the negatives, and there seem to be a lot of negatives. The film seems to be very dark to the point of being grim and unwatchable. There apparently is a lot of animal abuse, particularly to a dog, and a lot of adults are having problems with that and suggesting that children shouldn't watch it. And it does sort of seem like this is a bit of a test run for James Gunn to go into, sort of go from sort of the Marvel side of things to the DC side of things, which is basically, they're very opposite. The Marvel approach, especially the film approach recently, has been to make a joke out of superheroes, to laugh at them, to be camp, and DC always sort of seems to treat their superheroes as sort of these cursed gods who, just can't live with their powers and all the dramas that come with that and are just miserable. And who really wants to be in that universe? They're all dark and grey and that, so I haven't really been one for the DC universe since Nolan sort of made The Dark Knight into it's like they hated, fun superhero films, and they thought they were cringe, so that they said, let's ground it in reality and make it just, totally realistic, like a normal today drama, but with a guy in a suit, Batman suit. And I'm like, it's really not Batman. It's kind of like, so I'm not really happy with that approach. Although some of their films have been okay. But just that idea, I always preferred the Marvel, but Marvel used to be the sort of relatable superheroes, the ones who were like us and just had superpowers and was just trying to manage them the best they could, like Spider-Man. It's probably the best example of one of theirs. And it's just kind of, I really don't want to see a film with animal cruelty. And I don't really want to sit through another grim, torturous, film where we just have to watch people suffer and struggle and the villains always seem to win. And I do miss the old days of superhero films where the heroes were heroes and they were fun and they were colourful, and the bad guys, were always caught and punished. Apparently it's bad to want that or like that. Apparently we're just supposed to revel in the grey and the ambiguous and have these anti-heroes that we're supposed to worship, all these heroes, these fallen, struggling heroes who, like I said, are sort of tortured gods who can't cope. There's no really appeal to that either. But yeah, so I'm just sort of hearing very different reviews. They're very polar reviews where they start off saying it's great, but then it's totally unwatchable because it's so dark to the point it's grim. There's no humour. The humour that is in it cannot pull the film out of, the grimness of the whole thing because it's just, pervading through like the whole movie. So yeah, it does seem like a bit of a test run, even though he worked on the Suicide Squad, which was also a sort of miserable sort of movie. He just seems to be sort of doing a bit of a test run for working in DC by being sort of dark and miserable. And the Guardians, they used to have a totally different energy in the first two films, and apparently this is not the energy of this film. So no, I haven't seen it. I've just sort of, like I said, heard reviews and stuff, and it's just, I don't know. It's just a bit worrying. It's like, why do we have to have these two extremes? Like we either have like Superman 3 or, Man of Steel, one or the other. We don't seem to have anything in between, which is fun but respectable and, believable. And yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Sorry, I'm so tired. My eyes are practically closing while I'm talking. But yeah, I just noticed a lot of these reviews were all the same, and I had to comment on them because I just sort of thought, okay, maybe he was trying to sort of counter For Love and Thunder, which is so over the top, but maybe he's just gone too far in the other direction. Is that an indication of what all the DC films are going to be like, or is it sort of not related? I don't know, but I'm heading on 5 minutes, so I better stop talking. But let me know what you think. I don't know what to think really, but I'll eventually see the film.